Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I've created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals. True story. All the information from me is below. Understand that if you want to be coached by me, you have until the end of the year, probably sometime before the end of the year, to get into my coaching. This you need to guarantee yourself by booking first a mandatory first session in which we discuss what you need to work on, upon conclusion of which, if we decide that we are the right match for each other, you are expected to book what's called the signature coaching package. This is something I've created for the YouTube audience. It's a product unlike any other product in terms of coaching that you've ever seen. I've constructed it myself out of the last 10 years of experience of being a coach, as well as being on this journey, a personal journey of my own for the last 15 years. So all of the amalgamation of all the techniques, all the things that I've studied and I've learned and perfected, I'm giving you straight gold, straight diamonds and gold in this coaching program, as long as you come ready to work, humble, and receptive to what I have to say. I'm a very direct coach, very patient. I can be soft and gentle, of course, but I feel it is my duty as a coach to be direct and straightforward instead of dilly-dally and waste your money like other coaches do, copy and pasting their methods. It doesn't work that way. I'm a true believer in custom making the process for my client. Even though there is a structure, I very much have the person in my coaching in mind, in that I create what works for them. And this is why it's a 3-step process. We cover your history first. I need to understand where you're coming from. We process the emotions associated with that identity that you're carrying on with today, that that timeline. And so I help you quantum leap, essentially, in the 2 to 3 months that I recommend in my coaching, towards the timeline that you would rather be a part of, towards the personality that you would rather live with in this reality, in this life. After processing emotions, which is, again, really, really important, we rewrite your beliefs, and I guide you ever so gently towards reimagining your possibilities, your life. I help you in all areas of your life, not just SP, with your businesses that you want to open, maybe jobs you want to quit, etc., etc. Whatever it is that you need to do to become a better version of yourself so that you can become the master magician. All right. So for any questions as far as coaching, you're welcome to email me. Again, the emails are below. Now, I want to remind everybody that we do have a seminar on Saturday instead of the live. Saturday the 3rd at 3 p.m. And this will be a discussion surrounding how to rescript beliefs. And I encourage all of you to join in. This will be via Zoom. After booking, please sign the coaching agreement as for anything that you purchase off of my website. In order to participate, even if you don't want to appear, that's fine. If you don't want to say anything, that's fine too. You can be completely anonymous. Just make sure you send the coaching agreement beforehand, and that you show up on time. I will be discussing this chunk of my coaching, which is a really, really important part. And this is what I will be doing going forward. I've yet to I'm going to reimagine my schedule, as it were, on this channel. And as I warned, so to speak, I believe it was not this Saturday, but the Saturday before last, that I will be primarily recording audios during the week, and holding seminars or having a live. Okay, this is what's easiest for my schedule. And so you will be seeing me maybe every other week. For the lives, occasionally I will record a video. However, this is what's easiest, as I said. So this seminar is not to be missed for somebody who truly wants to, one, sample my coaching, two, really get to understand how to rewrite your thinking, rewrite your beliefs without struggle okay, without the self-imposed kind of rigidity that is so desperately promoted out there. I'm a humanist when it comes to coaching, and I very much factor in, my experience, like I've said, for the last 10 years with different people, that people really need encouragement. People really need to hold somebody's hand. They don't really need rigidity. They don't really need unrealistic expectations. So I really show that to you how to gently do it, but very effectively and for good. Okay, so that's something that is happening on Saturday, and you can sign up. Again, if you have any questions, please ask. My emails are below. And also, if I wasn't clear, the reason that you need to book as soon as the session is essentially completed, when you have the first session, is because I do have a waiting list. And so in order to secure your coaching spot in my practice, I very much need your booking. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. All right, the topic of today is you've never seen your SP like this. So this, of course, is dedicated to somebody who wants to change their SP. Again, we are not talking about an abusive relationship of any kind. I don't salute that, and I think if you're going through something like this, I sympathize. I've been there a couple of times in my life, and that's no picnic, but we're not talking about this. I think if you're in a situation where somebody's been abusive to you, deliberately hurting you over and over, you very much need coaching in order to center your energy. I mean, this goes for everybody, to really understand who you are and why you are creating this kind of circumstance. In either scenario, you need to do this, but specifically in this case. So in that scenario, you would be only focused on yourself. Okay, that's what I would recommend. But we're talking about someone who presently depicts certain qualities that you simply do not like. And remember, you're never really rejected. You reject the person yourself because of some kind of feeling around them. Their behavior or the way they treated you in the past may not have been abusive. However, it was something that you didn't like. So in that sense, if you feel rejected today, understand that you rejected that person yourself. And in order to start turning around this person, if you want to change them, and the whole entire relationship around them, it's up to you to change your mind about them. You yourself need to change your mind about them if you want to. There's some people in my life that I've said goodbye to, and I never really cared to bring back or anything like that. But whether you're experimenting or not, and there's no shame, or in that sense, there's nothing wrong with experimenting. I've done it many times, as long as you do it benevolently. What is benevolently, if I need to explain it, is you're not causing anybody harm. Okay, so we're all jumping realities in that sense, and that's really all we are, kind of like jumpers of realities. But as long as, and that's how you manifest, is what I wanted to say. So in that sense, you're giving yourself permission to jump into a reality where this person is different, where the circumstances are different. And I feel like whenever you're not doing that, either of two things, you don't really care about this person so much, or you're that pissed off that you don't really want to put in the work, or there's something that you need to work out that happened previous to this relationship, and perhaps most certainly probably most probably it's a pattern you've seen before. Okay, so number one, I have a question. So you want to see this SP wild over you, crazy for you. Everybody wants the same thing. Them licking jam off your toes, Nutella, what have you. What have you got in the cupboard today? for him or her? No, for him. To lick off your toes. You want that marriage, you want that proposal, you want that apology. You want them completely gaga for you, right? So which reality are you married to? And you are married to a reality currently. Whether that's because of Mama Drama Panorama, your personal history, that is, side note here, if you're unfamiliar with my sayings, and do subscribe, you're going to learn a lot on this channel. Or there's this unresolved within you, that how is it, if I create my reality, then how did I create this version? And this is very much, like I said, worth diving into, because essentially everyone's a mirror. You've heard this before. Reality is a mirror, and I believe certain people, for example, an abusive person is there to show up with a message. You're not loving yourself. You're not letting go of something, etc. Primarily, I would say in abusive situations, you're not loving yourself. You're not standing up for yourself. You're not believing in yourself. You believe that this is all you're really kind of worth. Now, that is an extreme. However, there is a certain parallel when you're really not getting what you want in this person. That you're really just not giving it to yourself. And maybe this person is showing up in this capacity. Again, may not have been abusive, but there's a lack of attention, let's just say. They're hot and cold with you, or they're disappearing on you, they're ghosting you. Maybe there's a third party, whatever. These obstacles that you've created for yourself, in order not to experience happiness, you're creating them yourselves, but also this person is showing up with a message. Hi, how are you? I'm your mirror. I'm your fear. I'm your insecurity. Oftentimes you'll see a similarity in this person within yourself. Now, again, this doesn't go with abusive people. I think abusive people, and I want to make this distinction because maybe, some people may be confused. Abusive people are there for the message only. Okay, there's nothing really there to mirror other than the poor self-esteem. And so this poor self-esteem attracts these, narcissists, etc., these kinds of like people, the energy vampires, etc., people who literally make you feel so miserable as to realize what you're really worth. That's their message. In a non-abusive situation, you see your mirror in different ways. It's not abusive, but it's still uncomfortable, shall we say. Okay. And so if you've got a situation like this, rest assured, yes, it's possible to change this person. And the entire shebang lies within yourself. Okay, you guessed it, yourself. Which reality, which version of this person are you married to? What kinds of conversations, thought transmissions are you having day in and day out with this person? Are you getting up in the morning and are you blaming them? Are you criticizing them? Are you sending them hate mail via the invisible kind of like airwaves of the universe? You happen to be on the wrong station. So don't negative future project. Don't just say, well, just because it's been like this all this time, I'm to expect this to go on. This is like casting spells, guys. Whenever you're thinking, you're casting spells. Okay, literally. You're casting spell upon this person to remain the same exact way. And so don't ever think from a desperate state of mind or make decisions there. So if you're in a desperate, quote unquote, situation, no such thing, in a desperate situation where either you've just, been broken up with, divorced from, this and that, whatever the situation might be, don't take this as the final situation. It has nothing to do with your potential and what's actually available right now for you. This is just the aftermath of what you thought thus far. So therefore, always have this freedom in your heart to ask for the best and the highest. So in that sense, no more negative future projecting, but predicting a bright future. But you're not really predicting, you're choosing a reality on purpose. So everything can be a shit show right now. It may not look like the situation that you want or the version of the person that you want. And still you're insisting on, I am unlimited. And I refuse to believe that this person, that's all they're capable of. Give them the freedom to change, in quotations, in your mind. Everybody's capable of change. Again, it depends on whether the person was abusive to you, which is kind of like the end game for me personally, and I think it should be for you. And or if you want to invest that kind of time in somebody, that kind of effort. If it really matters to you, if it really is dear to your heart, the situation. And I'm going on the assumption for the sake of this audio that you do. If you want, I don't care what has gone on, other than abuse, that is, so far. You can, if you wanted to, you can make any person into the biggest motherfucking sweetheart of the entire planet Earth. I don't care who they were before. I think I've told this story before, but side note here, I'm going to give you an example, as I know you like my examples from my personal life. Sometimes I'm authorized to share the success stories of my clients, but in this case, it will be my own example. When I was a model in New York, as I sometimes say on my channel, in my 20s, I had relocated from California, where I lived for a year, back to New York, and I had a new boss in my modeling agency, and everybody and their mother told me the new boss she's a devil. You don't want to, it's over. Anna, this is depression galore. She's nasty to everybody. Just be warned, be forewarned. And whilst on the plane, sitting there, like really not, having much to do. I had just broken up with somebody, parenthesis here, back in California. So, whatever, in kind of a mood I was. But I was excited about my comeback to New York. And I said, you know what? This is my new life. I am not accepting this bullshit. I'm going to make her into the biggest motherfucking fan of me. And she's going to give me the best jobs. She's going to literally become my best friend. And because I refused to entertain what my friends told me, what my coworkers told me, etc., what the overall impression was, for me, for Anna, only one outcome was possible of this person. To everybody else, it's true, she was nasty. Me, I was the only person who got to have coffee in her office and discuss things with her and joke with her and looba-dooba-doo. She adored me until the day she got fired. She adored me. She did get fired for her nastiness. But with me, she was adored. That's all I gave a shit about. That's how much power your mind has, that she didn't even understand why. She didn't even understand, nor did she need to know, quite frankly, right? So in that sense, no matter what happened up until now, you can create a different narrative for this person. And through the airwaves, again, of the universe, you will change that person, but completely. This is more than a magic spell. This is completely taking charge of your reality and going with it. Now, for that, of course, you would have processed your drama, trauma, panorama, which is why I take care of that first things first in my coaching. But this isn't the entire shebang. Now, to stay on course, of course, you have to be disciplined. Of course, you have to be determined. And you have to want this really bad. What can I tell you? Every time you find yourself on the wrong station, trying to negatively future project, you need to adjust yourself. Because as long as you're breathing air, you're also breathing in different possibilities, different parallel realities that you can select your highest, most preferred out of. So at any second, you have the ability to, in that sense, quantum leap to a completely different reality, completely different version of this person, completely different version of the outcome. So that's kind of as I said in the beginning, all we do as creators, we're the sorters of realities. There's nothing else going on. And how do you sort through these realities in the fastest, in the quickest, in the most effective manner? Is you go within. You go within and arrange the energy towards that person differently. In order to arrange the energy towards this person differently, you have to change your mind about them. And this is not going to come from the outside, so don't wait for it. Nor is it going to come for immediately if you have been investing, so to speak, in the negative version of this person. So some time will have to be dedicated that this energy is built up day in and day out until such time that the floodgates will open and only this reality, only this version will pour in. You have to be a different kind of investor of energy. Know what you're investing in and exactly how this what you're investing in feels to you. If you like how you feel, continue investing in it. If you don't, it is your duty as a conscious creator to start investing in a different reality. Yes, delusionally so, but it's it's not going to be delusion for very long. When you the requested reality will come and greet you at your door. Your request will be granted, and then it's not that delusional, is it? In other words, out of the impossible, the possible comes out really quick with passion and excitement and an imagination of that reality. What would I want them to be like towards me, and no other way? If I'm in charge of my reality, then my thoughts and my feelings, they have to mimic this reality. You're always mimicking a certain reality. What reality are you mimicking right now? You're mimicking the reality of, I'm powerless, this person is like this forever, they're never going to change, they're never going to dump the third party, they don't love me, they prefer somebody else. You're mimicking that reality. You, the conscious creator of all the myriads of parallel realities, you for some reason are choosing this outcome and no outcome at all, no other outcome at all. So in other words, what is depriving you right now from selecting that reality in which you say that you want to reside, in which they are different? Work on that. Work that out in your mind. Why are you depriving yourself from receiving this prize? They're not the prize. The prize is the accomplishment of the manifestation. You're giving yourself this prize. So for whatever reason, there's something in your psyche still kind of stuck. No, I can't have that. No, I can't do that. Or no, I don't deserve that. This is too much for me, you could be saying. So whatever that is for you personally, and this, in an audio or a video is impossible to address. But for whatever reason, you are depriving yourself of that reality that you say you want, and it's up to you to let it in. First, gently entertaining the idea of this person being wild over you. Just gently entertaining. You don't need to shove your face into 10,000 affirmations. And don't worry, I'm still going to record that audio on affirmations, and because I have the this audio on my channel already. Affirmations are like magic spells, and well, that was in the beginning of me being on YouTube, and since then, things evolved. I have more things to say, so at some point I will discuss it. But it isn't that arduous, and you shouldn't be so drastic with yourself. You should be very gentle with your psyche, because if you want to achieve lasting results, okay? Letting an idea in starts with musing. You first allow yourself to get the whiff of this reality. Well, what would that even fucking look like? What would that even feel like? Have I allowed myself to entertain this reality? And when I do, does it feel natural? Or does it feel like, oh, this is somebody else's reality, I don't deserve it, somebody else surely does deserve it better than me, or something like that? So in that sense, this is all you're working with. The only person who is going to create this masterful new version that you really say you want is yourself. Out of your own energy. You've created the first version around out of your own energy also, out of your past beliefs, programming, thoughts, emotions, la-di-da-di-da. It is up to you to reshuffle that completely, redo this completely start with brand new canvas and start painting this time around very deliberately, not rigidly, but deliberately choosing. Okay, some of you told me, by the way, thank you so much for participating in the polls, that you're wanting to meet a new SP. Okay, so what would that SP make you feel like? Are they super respectful of you? Are they super catering to you? Are they super in agreement with you? Is it harmony? Is it love? Is it happiness? Is it bliss? Is it something that you've never felt before? Can you allow yourself to feel this way? Because before you know it, once it's drop by drop, and before you know it, it's an ocean, because you're going to make the connection with that parallel reality, and a whiff is now a whole freaking ocean of an entire experience. even though maybe still in your mind. But now you vividly can entertain this version that behaves completely differently. Now, if something happened in the past that contradicts this completely, we rework that in my coaching, and that's individual again, obviously, and of course, because, well, I mean, there's only so much that you can do with videos. There's certain things that need to be addressed blow by blow. He said this, she did that, pa pa pa, poo pa poo. There's different interpretations always to everything. So you have to keep this in mind. The way that you've been interpreting reality thus far around this relationship and around this SP is very much a projection of your past mama drama panorama. If you interpret the situation differently, if you allow yourself to get a whiff of this reality and start entertaining it, just like you buying a new car, and this is the new car and that's it. The old car is gone, but you need to get used to the new car, how the windows open, what are the new features, etc. This is how you entertain the new reality. You completely immerse yourself in, this is my new version of my SP and nothing else. This is how disciplined you have to be. If you're really struggling in this department, then you should definitely come into coaching, and I will do the work with you. Not for you. Pay attention. So could this happen to you now or soon? Yes, of course it can. Yes, of course it can. Because what you're going to do is the most magical, the most powerful of all techniques. If there is a technique that needs to be celebrated, is telepathy. It's the remote feeling projection. And I been speaking on this channel about this at length, how the thought transmission coupled with the feeling transmission, and go watch my live if you haven't already, really popular one on this channel, how to control your SP on a remote control. It's the easiest shit in the world. But again, your own energy, you have to figure out your own energy out. If you have mastered your energy, you understand your own energy to the T, you have worked out all your kind of boogie monsters and this and that, and everything is in place, you are now so empowered to create exactly what you want. It's ridiculous. Because now you are deliberate about the kinds of feelings that you're going to project on this person, versus in the past you would just do it on an automatic pilot because of your mama drama panorama. And so the remote feeling projection affecting other people is exactly what I said. The thought transmission goes out. You're wild over me. You're crazy about me. Can't stop thinking about me. I'm everywhere you go. You see my name everywhere. I saturate your world. Even though maybe you haven't seen this person in a long time. I have different cases in my coaching. Sometimes it's decades that the person hasn't seen this person. But yeah, the connection is there. You cannot break the connection, even decades later. But the thing is, the thought transmission goes out, and no power in the world can stop it from becoming so, like Neville said. But none. That energy is so magnetic. If you're deliberate and you're consistent and you're disciplined, it will form that new version right before your eyes, and you will be just absolutely baffled. Your jaw will be on the ground. Like, what happened to the other SP? Who gives a flying fuck? This is the version that you prefer, and you will insist on it. You will chisel it out of your consciousness, out of your feelings and emotions, completely projecting to them. So technique, it goes like this. You feel it in your body. Before this person ever changes their mind, ever changes themselves, ever changes their behaviors, okay, no matter how long they've been behaving this way. Again, we're not talking about abuse, but something that unnerves you, whatever. You project the feeling into them. And I teach you in coaching how to do this. But essentially, you overlay your state of being, okay, in YouTube terms, onto that person. Not forcefully, but like everything is made of you in your universe, your immediate. Since, what people say, everybody's you pushed out, I think it's a little bit dramatic, because you couldn't answer for the whole world. I think you could answer for your immediate relationships, your SPs, friendships, co-workers, this and that. Yes, that is for sure. But, there's certain people, like I've often said, that just doesn't apply to, because the energy is so weird and extraneous. They're probably just there for a quick message for you, and that's about it. But that your world, your immediate world, is composed of your energy, that is for sure. And so whatever energy you've been projecting onto this person before, replace it with the new energy. And you will be amazed and dazzled. I mean, just immediately you can change that energy between you and that person, whoever they might be. It doesn't have to be romantic. It really doesn't. And so project your will, but it doesn't suffice to do it for one day. This has to be a permanent change. If you want to see results, you have to get married to a new reality in that sense. To shed your fears, your insecurities, any drama, trauma, panorama associated with the past version of this person, essentially, of the past situations that kind of been arising, you must stop reacting to them or acting on them. Again, don't ever think from a desperate state of mind or make your decisions there. That's a different world. You belong in the world of the golden Buddha, who basically controls their little world. Not so little maybe, but it is your world and you're in charge of it. These fears, these little motherfuckers that have been, and they seem big to some people, and I understand that, I've been there. But just for experiment's sake, obviously you need to work through that, to talk through that, and this is what we do in coaching. But just as an experiment, spend one day ignoring your fears and insecurities. Okay, I know they're maybe really loud or persistent and this and that, or you've gotten used to them, but spend one day purposely ignoring your fears and insecurities and make the decisions out of kind of like the golden state, the golden Buddha status. Okay, you will have a taste of what it's like to be the golden Buddha, to be free of that bullshit. But the thing, it will feel so counterintuitive for you, perhaps, as I'm sure, as I've had these experiences myself personally, and with my clients, they had these experiences. But believe me when I tell you, the feeling that you will feel, that freedom that you will feel within yourself by allowing yourself to ignore your fears and insecurities, will be so fucking appealing to you that day after day after day, you will commit yourself to this practice until these fears will look ridiculous in your mind. Because they're not there to protect you. They're not there to warn you. They're there just wasting your fucking energy. They're associated with a different timeline. It's high time you let them go. But this is an experiment and an exercise that I very much recommend, along with the remote feeling technique that I just described, is you feeling the feeling for that person and projecting it out to them. And in my coaching, I teach it exactly how to do. Every person is different. So again, I custom make the teaching to every single person that comes into my coaching. But this is exactly how you cast a spell on anybody. Okay, it's, in quotations, in that sense, you are already doing that with your money, with your career, with whatever, with whomever. You're already casting spells left and right. You are making decisions. Now deliberately make a decision to get a handle of the situation and to get behind the wheel and start projecting onto this person deliberately what it is you want to see. But unfortunately, this is an impossible task to do if you still got some things to sort within yourself. And so this is the entire premise. Start with yourself, bring yourself up to this feeling, and then feel empowered and be able to assume these things like 1, 2, 3. It should take you an afternoon, a morning, an evening, 15 minutes. In my practice, I do it like in 1 minute if I want. You can make somebody madly fall in love with you madly in a minute, in a split second. Just decision alone. You're wild over me. Done. Next. That is how you do it. I'm so serious. The whole shebang then, the whole theater of these fears and insecurities, they're barring you from entering, the Eden, the gateways of Eden. This is the entire shebang. So it's really a conversation with you, towards you. Why am I not permitting for this reality to come through? This is the million-dollar question. Why am I not selecting this parallel reality? Because you could. Because it's swirling around you every single day. If you say you want it, it's right sitting right there next to you. All that it's waiting for you is to accommodate it a little bit with mimicking it with your emotions, with how do you feel now that this person is gaga over you? Do you feel like fucking chasing this person? Probably not. You're like, fuck, man, stop calling me. My phone has been bamboozled. You're texting me too much. Have you ever had that situation? I know I have. So can you entertain that at first slightly and then convincing your mind to such a degree where the reality will literally just copy and paste? Universe is a copying machine in that sense. It doesn't really care. So here it is. Here's kind of like your power to change that person entirely into a different character. In the story and production, in the play of your life, it's the easiest thing to do. And yes, it could happen to you. And yes, it could happen soon if you're deliberate and diligent. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.